Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another SCP video. Today we are checking out the Volgun's SCP-426, I Am a Toaster. Now, I'm a big fan of memes, and meme SCPs are always fun. I've checked out quite a few different meme SCPs over the time I've been reacting to the SCP universe. And when an SCP is called I Am a Toaster, it's gotta be funny. I don't know where this can go. It's one of those. I don't know where it's going, but I hope it goes to a good place. It is a mind-affecting SCP apparently, so that's always fun. Let me know what other SCPs you want me to react to. A lot of them are very long these days. Back in the day when I started, there were a lot of short ones. Now everything is 40 minutes plus. And with those, there's a lot more work that has to be done because I don't want to just re-upload the guy's video. So try not to suggest too many of those. If there's any short ones, that's always fun. But anyway, if you want to go check out the original video, it's in the description on the Volgun's channel. Watch it without me. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, let's get into SCP-426.
Good morning, everyone.
How old was this video?
My name is Researcher Miller,
93.
and the SCP we're going to be studying today is SCP-426, Object Class Euclid, Special Containment Procedures. I am to be sealed in a chamber with no windows through which I may be viewed.
Wait, why is he talking to me, dude?
The door to my chamber must have a label completely unrelated to my designation or identity in order to prevent unintended spread of my primary effect. Only level 3 and above personnel are to know of my presence, and particularly of my properties. Assigned personnel are to be rotated out on a monthly basis to prevent contamination by my secondary effect. Psychiatric evaluation is mandatory at the end of the month. If personnel are deemed unaffected, they may be reassigned to me no less than 4 months after their last rotation with me. Any affected personnel are to be given Class C amnestic and transferred to a different site.
Okay, first and foremost, why did the toaster write his own article? That makes no sense. Well, how can the toaster write? And secondly, why has he got 2 effects? That's kind of overpowered. He obviously fucks with your mind, because you still have to wait 4 months to guard him once again even if you weren't affected and you are psychiatric healthy. That's a long word right there. But yeah, let's get into his description. Let's see. Did he write his own description too? Or was it just an SCP staff member putting a regular toaster there and memeing? Who knows?
Description. Hello, I am SCP-426. I must be introduced this way in order to prevent ambiguity. I am an ordinary toaster, able to toast bread when supplied with electricity.
Nice.
However, when any human being mentions me, they inadvertently refer to me in the first person. Despite all attempts, there is yet to be a way to speak or write about me in the third person. When in my continuous presence for over 2 months, individuals begin to identify themselves as a toaster. Unless forcibly restrained, these people will ultimately harm themselves in their attempts to emulate my standard functions.
That's great, dude.
I was discovered in the home of the family after the gruesome deaths of 3 of its members. I've been given to the younger Mr. and Mrs. as a wedding gift.
Wait. So he's just a regular toaster, yeah? He makes toast bread, probably has a few settings on there, how high you want your bread toasted, and that's it, really. Firstly, my question is, why don't you just unplug him? Then surely he would have no effect. But it seems like, but also, if you know about his existence, you refer to him in the first person, and then inadvertently you become a toaster. But you try to plug yourself into the wall and toast bread. That can never go well.
No card or any other identifying marks had been found on my box. Approximately 2 months after the family received me, fire crews were dispatched to the home due to an electrical fire. The younger Mrs. died from the electric discharge that she had caused when attempting to devour an electric socket. The other 2 victims had died shortly before the fire occurred. The elder Mrs. had gorged herself with nearly 10 kilograms of bread before her stomach burst, and she died of internal bleeding.
Wait. How much is 10 kilos of bread? Hold, go find out. So a regular loaf of bread weighs like 800 grams, which means she would have had to eat like 10 and a half loaves of bread to eat how? How can one eat that much bread? Is that even physically possible? I don't even think that's possible to eat 10 loaves of bread.
The younger Mr. died of severe blood loss after attempting with me. The sole survivor was the elder Mr. who was suffering from severe malnutrition. He stated that he had inserted some bread a week prior and was still waiting for the toast to pop out. I was confiscated
Nah, where did he insert the bread? That's what I want to know.
by the Foundation after police noted my unusual properties. Class C amnestic was administered to all the affected officers. Experiment log 426-1. Date. Subject. D-Class Personnel D-426-1. Procedure. D-426-1 was asked to describe what he believed was contained in my chamber. He was not informed about my identity or properties. Details. D-426-1 stated, "I'm probably some huge monster holed up in there. That's what you guys have all over the place, right?" D-426-1 remained oblivious to his use of the first-person pronoun. Experiment log 426.
So that's how they proved.
Date.
So that one proved that he makes people talk in the first person. But why? Why does he do that? Said he witnessed people get murdered. Is it like Jujutsu Kaisen, where like if you have too much negative energy in one place, it creates a curse, and then the toaster got cursed?
Subject. D-Class Personnel D-426-2. Procedure. D-426 was placed in my chamber and given regular meals through a dispenser. No communication with D-426-2 was permitted. Multiple cameras were situated in the chamber, positioned so that I was outside of their field of vision.
I took that as the toaster was getting meals,
but allowing constant observation of D-426-2. We remained sealed until my secondary effect manifested in the subject. I was bolted to the floor so that I could not be moved into the camera's view.
They bolted the toaster to the ground.
After 45 days of isolation, D-426-2 wrapped his arm around me and began conversing with me, stating that we were brothers. D-426-2 never deviated from using the first-person plural when speaking with me. Subject was terminated 1 hour after this event. It is theorized that the isolation accelerated the progression of my secondary effect.
Wait, so these men put a D-Class in a room with a fucking mind-affecting SCP for 45 days? My man got put in solitary confinement with a fucking... At least they had the foresight to bolt it down so he couldn't move it. But at the end of the day, that's too far.
Experiment log 426-3. Date. Subject. D-Class Personnel D-426-3. Procedure. A screw was removed from me and shown to D-426-3, who was asked to describe it. D-426-3 was not informed about my identity or properties. Details. D-426-3 referred to it as my screw. Consistent with Experiment 426-1, the subject was oblivious to his use of the first person in his description. This suggests that, even if I were destroyed, my effects would still be inherent in my remains.
Interesting.
Experiment log 426-4. Date. Subject. D-Class Personnel D-426-4. Procedure. D-426-4 was placed in isolation in the cell adjacent to my chamber, to be observed until my secondary effect manifests. Details. No effects appeared. D-426-4 was terminated 90 days after the start of the experiment.
But why?
Quote, "Thank God there are some limits to my effects. A lot of us were really starting to get worried about me. Dr.
C.
Okay, that about does it for today, folks. Apologies about the confusing nature of myself today. Well, you know what I mean. Thank you very much for listening, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye."
That's definitely one of them meme SCPs. What I don't understand is why my guy got terminated 90 days after just being in the cell next to him, after there was no effects. Like, did he even know? I didn't even feel like he knew about him. Makes everything very weird. But yeah, that SCP is hilarious, dude. I don't know if SCP not SCP. I don't know if Explorer Series has made another meme SCPs video yet. Did he make meme SCPs or feel good SCPs or whatever one? But he needs to put the toaster into. That's where it belongs. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this reaction, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you all next.